What do you think is the most important muscle? Is it your chest? Is it your back? Is it your quads? No, bro. The most important muscles on your body are your shoulders. When I was younger, I always wanted big shoulders. I always wanted broad, wide shoulders. But unfortunately, I was very skinny and I had a narrow frame. So I'm gonna take you guys through the exact formula that I used to grow my shoulders. I'm going to talk through my favorite exercises, the exercises which led to the most growth, and just in general how you should go about training your shoulders, what to avoid, what to incorporate in your training. Okay, so your shoulder consists of 3 parts: your front delt, your side delt, and your rear delt, all of which need a certain type of training, specific amounts of volume, intensity, sets, reps, etc. Let me start off with the front delt. So the front delt gets hit indirectly through so much of your training that it doesn't really need that much volume on its own. So for example, your bench press, your incline bench press, any pressing movements that you do on your push day will indirectly involve your front delt. And this is what I do. These are only the 2 exercises which I've done, which have helped me grow my front delt tremendously. And that is the seated dumbbell shoulder press and the seated machine shoulder press. These 2 exercises are all you need to grow your front delt. A lot of people neglect one of the most important things when it comes to maximizing the chance of growing your front delt, and that is getting a full range of motion. You need to go as far as you can down and feel that stretch on your front delt and press explosively up. That's what I started doing, and that's where I've seen amazing growth. Typically with my front delt, I'll do one heavy set. So I'll do one set of 6 to 9 reps, let's say. I'll train till failure at a really high intensity and really push through. You have to make sure you're training till failure and you're training at a high intensity, because your shoulders are comprised of 50% fast twitch muscle fibers, which are very responsive to resistance training and therefore grow quite quickly, and 50% are slow twitch muscle fibers, which are the opposite. They're very stubborn. They take a lot of intense volume, frequency to grow, like your calves, for example. If anyone like me struggles with growing their calves, that's why. It's because they're comprised of a lot of slow twitch muscle fibers, which basically take a bunch of hard, long, excessive sets and reps to really stimulate that muscle and get it to grow. That's what you need to make sure you're doing, okay? You need to make sure you're training till failure every set. So I'm hitting my shoulders twice a week. I'll do a seated dumbbell shoulder press, 1 heavy set, 6 to 9 reps, and then 2 back off sets, 10 to 15 reps, slow and controlled, getting a stretching at the bottom, exploding at the top. Next, the big daddy, the side delt. Aesthetics are determined by one thing and one thing only: how V-tapered is your physique. And the most important muscle which determines your V-taper and determines how objectively attractive and aesthetic you look are your side delts. So your side delts, without a doubt, they are the most important part of your shoulder and the most important part you really need to home in on when trying to build wide shoulders. And like I said, your side delt is a very stubborn muscle. You have to spam lateral raises. Your side delt requires a lot of volume. I do around 9 to 12 sets per week of lateral raises. I'll do 2 heavy sets till failure, and then once I fail, I'll do partials until I fail on partials, and then once I fail on partials, I'll wait 10 seconds and do another set of partials. So that's what it really takes. You have to obliterate your side delt for it to grow. Another thing I do is muscle rounds. So muscle rounds are 6 sets and 10-second rest between sets. So you bang out 8 reps, wait 10 seconds, and you bang out another, and you repeat that 6 times. You just have to push past failure every set. You do partials, you do drop sets, you do anything to further stimulate that muscle and further break down those slow twitch muscle fibers, because that's what it takes for it to grow. And if you are doing that, you're training your lateral delts really often, you're training them hard and intense. I know how it feels. They are a stubborn muscle to grow, so that might not even be enough. Your side delts are really easy to recover. So maybe at the end of every session you do, at the end of push day, pull day, legs, do a few sets of lateral raises, okay? I guarantee you will see additional growth if you do this. There's no limit to how much lateral raises you can do. Obviously, there's many other variations to do lateral raises. You can do cable, you can do a machine, but my personal favorites, and the one which I've just seen the most growth in and the best mind-muscle connection, is just good old lateral raises. Whether that's seated, whether that's standing, doesn't matter. What's important is you push blood into that muscle. So that's it for side delts. Onto the rear deltage. Okay, so your rear delt is probably, on the average gym bro, the most neglected muscle there is. To put it simply, there's one exercise. This one exercise bends all the other ones over, and that's the reverse pec deck. Holy sh*. This isolates your rear delt so well. I've seen insane growth from this alone. Face pulls don't compare to this. If you have this machine, you have to use it. Now, obviously your rear delt indirectly gets activated through many back movements on your pull days, but it's still very important to isolate your rear delt using isolation exercises like the reverse pec deck, like face pulls or cable flies, or however you choose to isolate your rear delt. But my personal favorite is the reverse pec deck. Hands down, gotta be the best way to grow your rear delt. Like your side delt, train it with a lot of volume, intensity, and frequency. It's very easy to recover. You do not need to worry about overtraining your side and rear delts. On the reverse pec deck, I do 2 heavy sets, 8 to 12. Once I've failed, I'll do partials or I'll do rest pauses, and then I'll do 1 back off set. So choose a lighter weight and do like 12 to 15 reps, and I'll do a drop set after that, or I'll just do a rest pause again after that, or I'll do partials again. I just basically spam this machine until my rear delts are burning, because that's at the end of the day what has led to the most muscle growth for me in my rear delt and in my side delt, is pushing as much blood into the muscle as possible. I found that focusing on how much of a pump you have determines how much you're actually stimulating the muscle. So if you can feel the connection, that's a good sign. Use whatever works for you, but what matters is that you feel the blood going to the muscle and you get a good mind muscle connection. So that's it for shoulders, okay? It's really that simple. Again, these are my personal favorites. These are the ones that have worked for me, but obviously you experiment in the gym, you figure out what works for you, what doesn't. You will get big shoulders, okay? But you have to train your side delt and your rear delt with a lot of volume, a lot of frequency, and a lot of intensity for them to grow. If you are dissatisfied with the growth you've seen in your shoulders, then I do recommend, like in my last video, I suggested if you are lacking in arm growth, you dedicate a day to just training arms. I'm going to advise the same thing for here. Choose a day to just do shoulders. Typically when you train shoulders, they're after your back exercises or your chest exercises. So, you might not be training it with as much intensity. Therefore, isolating your shoulders on a specific day will definitely lead to growth, okay, if you haven't already. Because you can afford to train with harder, with more intensity, and just focus on your shoulders, there's no way you're not going to grow from that. There's no way you're not going to improve your shoulders from that. You just have to progressively overload, be in a caloric surplus, and train till failure. Sleep well, eat well, train well. All the basics. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found these tips helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.